Hello. Hey, Gary, we're live. Here we go with the intro. Here we go.
You've known them to run their mouths about politics. Politics, schmalitics. Well, little did you know, they can run their mouths about other stuff as well. This is the Mark G Show. They have a natural curiosity about just about everything, from aliens, the paranormal, to the biggest natural disasters that have ever occurred on planet Earth, and everything in between. Two brothers from another mother ripping it up. And, oh no, we don't record the show. We have the balls to do it live. Call into the show at 207-370-5852. That's 207-370-5852. Be a part of the show. Let's do it. This is the Mark G Show. And now your hosts, Mark G and Gary G.
What is going on, everybody? What is happening out there? TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Apple, Spotify. Everybody's listening on audio. What is happening, ladies and gentlemen? We are back for another pop-up podcast. Hopefully, we'll be back on a schedule here very soon. Let me get the intro out of the way. For those who don't know, the gentleman to my left over here on my right is my brother Gary from another mother. Gary, what is up, my man?
What is going on? It's funny on the intro it says we don't talk about politics, but I have a feeling the podcast may have a slight political topic type.
Yeah, I believe we're going to try mixing it up a little bit every week. We'll go a little bit political because, listen, we are, a little less, 99 days now to voting. So politics are kind of an important thing to talk about, and as well to get the views of everybody out there. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about politics today. We're going to go over Trump's Agenda 47. There was, before we started live on all these other platforms, there was a couple people in TikTok talking to us because we're always live on TikTok prior to the starting of the show. Somebody was asking why Trump was not doing the debate with Kamala. So let me get that out of the way here. From what's been told and what Trump has said, the reason why he will not debate Kamala right now is because he's still not even sure if she's their actual pick. People have called out and said that they are endorsing her, but the DNC has still yet to happen, which means she is still not fully nominated. She will not be declared the runner-up until the DNC happens. Oh, yes. Let's get that disclaimer out of the way. Thank you, Gary. Let me get a disclaimer out of the way real quick, folks. Let me get a disclaimer out of the way. Everything that you're going to hear in tonight's shows are the views and the opinions of myself, my brother Gary, or any guest that's on the show. You do with the information as you please. And like I'm always told people, do your own research. That's right. If you hear something that we talk about on the show, definitely do your own research. Otherwise, this is for entertainment purposes only. All right. So, yes, Kamala Harris is not the official candidate yet until she goes to the DNC with a big rally. And they say that Kamala Harris is going to be the one who runs for president of the United States. She is still not the actual candidate. They can still change it. Right now, Kamala Harris is in what you would call the honeymoon phase. That's why her numbers are looking so good. She's in that honeymoon phase. People are still going to look into her policies because in all reality, what has Kamala Harris done as a VP?
Laugh. A lot of really creepy laughter and doublespeak. She just says a bunch of really weird, nonsensical phrases.
Right. So, Aiden, you're right. Trump wasn't confirmed by the RNC, right? But everybody kind of already had that vibe that it was going to be Trump. But to be honest with you, I think Trump was ready to have that debate against Biden. And if you want my honest opinion about the Biden and Trump debate, I have a feeling that was a major setup on the Biden part. I feel like the Democratic Party set Biden up. They wanted to go ahead and stick him out there to see how he could handle the debate. And obviously, Biden completely tanked that debate, and they couldn't hide it anymore. They couldn't hide his cognitive status anymore. Once that debate was over with, they couldn't hide it. They were like, yeah, he's done for. You couldn't hide how his cognitive state was at that point, and they booted him out. And speaking of Biden, do you see how much taller he's gotten?
It's weird. How'd that happen?
Right? I don't know, man. It's like he had COVID. It's like COVID gave him a boost in height.
I thought as you got older, you kind of shrunk.
That's what I
He's
thought.
pretty old.
He is.
Huh.
And he got taller, which is
Yeah.
weird. So we just got our flag for our U.S. elections, which is fine. We literally just got flagged for U.S. elections on TikTok. But yeah, no. So Biden's gotten taller, which is interesting. I think it's clear he's hiding behind the "she's not official." Because he's not hiding. Aiden, I can promise you that Trump is not hiding to debate Kamala Harris. You understand that when Kamala Harris did run for president back in 2020, she didn't get a single delegate, not a single one, and she got absolutely destroyed on the debate floor by Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard absolutely destroyed her. And Kamala Harris didn't get a single delegate.
I mean, I'm not trying to just needlessly talk shit, but she's not that bright. She's not like an intelligent human being.
Right. She's absolutely not. And Aiden, that's right. Aiden, let me ask you about that too, real quick. So we're going to talk about Agenda 47. That's what we're going to do. But listen, I see your guys is commenting over here in the chat. You're making more comments, trying to say that she will be the nominee by the end of next week. You understand that Kamala Harris wasn't even what the people voted for. What was it, like 14 million votes or something like that Biden supposedly had for the primary? And they weren't even voting for Kamala Harris. They weren't even voting for her, which is kind of hilarious. So it's like the Democratic Party, the people who went out and voted to have Biden on the ticket, absolutely just got a slap in the face. Said, "Sorry, your vote don't count." I mean, that shit is kind of hurt you, piss you guys off a little bit, because that allows the Democratic Party to choose whoever they want. Oh my God, the constant moving the goalpost is insane. Oh, we're like children, Gary.
Yeah. These comments are absolutely ridiculous.
They are. I love these comments. All right, but listen, folks, what we're talking about today, anyways, because even Biden himself last night during his speech made a comment when he was talking about the courts and this illegal constitution thing he's going to do. It's just going to get shot down anyways. He'll never move anywhere with the Supreme Court. Made a comment about Trump is on a Project 2025. That is absolute lies. Hold on one second. Do I get any moderators in here right now? If I don't have any moderators right now, we're going to go ahead and just take care of some stuff here. Aiden's fine. But listen, Trump is not going underneath Project 2025. Not at all. Matter of fact, the Trump campaign just came out and yelled at him. We just got that breaking news as we went live, and is actually going after the people that are promoting Project 2025 because everybody's aiming this towards Trump. So let me tell you, it's not Project 2025. It is Agenda 47. And Gary, you have no clue about Agenda 47, do you?
I'm pretty ignorant about Agenda 47. You told me to look it up, and I probably should have, but I've got so much going on that I got distracted with other shit. I didn't look it up.
Got you. Well, Aiden, let's go ahead. Aiden over on TikTok. Listen, man, we're going to dig into Agenda 47. That's what we're here for today. We're going to educate people on Agenda 47, which this is what Trump and his campaign are running on. Oh, wait. Officials have not said what kind of... Oh, boy. Hold on. Stand by. My wife just shared breaking news. Major incident shuts down section of Forest Avenue in Portland, Maine. Stand by. An employee at a business nearby says she heard gunshots, but that nobody at the business was hurt. Police are at the scene of an incident in Portland on Forest Ave at 9:19 p.m. Tuesday. Portland police tweeted that Forest Avenue is closed from Bell Street to Morrill's Corner for a major incident. It's unclear what kind of incident it is. Please avoid the area. An employee at Samuel's Bar and Grill, located at 1160 Forest Ave, said on the phone that she and other customers heard gunshots, but that nobody at the business was hurt. She said that they were praying for those who were hurt at the families. All right. Well, there's an incident in Portland, Maine, folks. Let's go with that. Sorry about that. My wife loves that. Yes, Terry, that is in Maine. Maine's picked up quite a bit on crime. And I hate to say this, but our crime's picked up ever since the border's been wide open.
It's just a coincidence.
Exactly. That's
just
exactly
a coincidence.
You know. just a coincidence that the borders open up. More families in the United States are struggling. It's just a coincidence. Meanwhile, shelters are being given to illegal immigrants all over. Okay. Let's go back to what we were originally talking about. Agenda 47. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and flip on over to the screen. Here we go. All right, y'all. Let me see how that looks on TikTok. It's the first time checking it out. All right. So as you can see, Gary and I are kind of small, and the screen is pulled up here. Fantastic. We have two mods over there. We're going to talk about Agenda 47. Once again, for those who don't know, Agenda 47 is what Trump and his campaign are running on. It is not Project 2025. And I want to really know what y'all think that might be so bad in this. And if you're a Democrat watching my podcast right now or listen to the podcast, please let me know what's so bad about Agenda 47. Let's go through some stuff here. I'm going to play videos on ones that may need more context. The ones that don't need context, we'll just discuss about it. All right, so right here, he's going to declare the war on the cartels. I watched that. That's not part of Agenda 47, but that's where he released a video where he's planning on bringing war to the cartels and eliminating the cartels for doing business back here in the United States. And yes, I did see that, Terry, that the head of Project 2025 has resigned. That happened today. All right, first up on Agenda 47, ending veteran homelessness in America. I don't see why one single American could not get behind this right here. I mean, who would not want to end veteran homelessness in our country? You got to respect the men and women who put their lives on the line to defend our country, to give us our freedom of speech, who fight for our freedom. And yet we got them living on the streets while we're giving shelter, home, food to those who come into our country illegally. I mean, you're down for ending veteran homelessness in America, aren't you, Gary?
I mean, not even just veteran homelessness. I'd like to see homelessness in general be kind of tackled if it's a problem that can be solved. But I know a large percentage of the homeless population, or not even a large percentage, but a percentage of it is veterans.
Right.
And so, I think that's a problem that should be focused on.
Jim Bone on TikTok saying they want to live that way.
A lot of them do, and that's the truth.
Right. There are a lot that do, but there's some that don't. Like there's some that are working full-time jobs. They just cannot afford the rent that's out there right now. One bedroom apartment goes for what? $1,800 to $2,000 a month.
How much?
$1,800 to $2,000 a month for a one bedroom apartment. For one person that may be making, I don't know, we'll say they're making $400 paycheck a week. That's going
to I know that there are definitely places cheaper than that, but trying to relocate when you're on such a tight budget in itself is not exactly an easy task.
Yeah, they'd have to move to a different state.
Yeah.
Because right here in Maine, they're going for right about $2,000 right now. It's crazy. All right, so yeah, I'm down for ending veteran homelessness. So that's not a problem right there. Yeah, so Terry's saying in Southeast New Mexico right now, 2-bedroom apartments, $1,500 to $1,800. For a 2-bedroom, that's not too bad. I mean, I remember in a 2-bedroom, I was paying right around $1,400 to $1,500.
Yeah, but who wants to live in New Mexico?
I can't talk shit about it. I've never visited, so I can't talk shit about New Mexico.
I'm just rattling cages.
Next up on Agenda 47, folks, is no welfare for illegal aliens. Gary, do you need more context on that one? Do you kind of understand where it's going for that one?
No welfare for illegal aliens. I mean, it's a pretty cut and dry title, but if you have more context, I think it would be nice to jump into it.
All right, let's go for it. All right, for folks that are listening, make sure you're all sharing it out. We're going to go ahead and get some more context. We're going to play Trump's video here on Agenda 47 for no welfare for illegal aliens. Let's go ahead and play this clip.
Crooked Joe Biden is running a nonstop conveyor belt importing illegal aliens from all over the world into our country, and the Biden Department of Homeland Security is abusing its so-called parole authority to give them more governmental benefits than many law-abiding citizens, including our vets. Our vets are being taken advantage of. Our citizens are being taken advantage of. It's very unfair, and it's not going to stand. Under this horrendous abuse of power, millions of illegals will be eligible for billions and billions of dollars in welfare benefits, courtesy of you, the American taxpayer.
I love the way he talks.
So not only is Crooked Joe surrendering your borders and your sovereignty, He is stealing your hard earned money to redistribute it to people who have no business being in our country. They should be in their country. This is not sustainable by anybody, certainly not sustainable by us. The United States is trillions of dollars in debt, yet the radical left Democrats are illegally dispensing public benefits to illegals while they try to massively raise your taxes. The radical left communists hate you and they hate our middle class. Under Biden's scheme, the benefits that will go to illegal aliens include food stamps, free health care, welfare checks, and a host of other programs, the likes of which you would not even believe. In addition,
So I'm going to stop right there. But yeah, he's pretty much saying that he wants to make sure that illegal aliens are not getting, food stamps, healthcare, and stuff like that, which I agree with him, right? I mean, I don't think they deserve it. They came here to our country illegally. That should be up to their country to provide them those services.
I mean, free healthcare for illegal immigrants seems kind of bananas because people who work their ass off and they have, they're living paycheck to paycheck. Generally, those are the ones who don't have time to like focus on their health, and they need healthcare more than folks who can focus on their health. And it's like, giving free healthcare to illegal aliens does seem a little counterproductive, and it's like it's kind of an insult to regular citizens.
Oh, absolutely. If you look at what is it, the Obama administration started that up, and that you get fined now if you don't have any type of health insurance.
No, they got rid of that.
Did they get rid of the fine?
Yeah, they got rid of that.
Okay.
Trump got rid of that.
Trump did get rid of the fine. Okay, I did not know if he did, because I know I got asked when I did my taxes whether or not if I had insurance.
They'll still ask you, but I don't think there are penalties anymore.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, so there's that. I agree with not giving welfare to illegal aliens. I figured that that's going to be up to their country once we deport their asses back to their country and let them try to come in legally. There is a difference between coming to our country illegally and there's one legally. If you're coming in because your country's a war-torn country and you're seeking asylum, yes, there's a way to do that as well. But you can't say that everybody's currently crossing this border is all asylum seekers. There's no way freaking in hell. There's no way. But let's go on to the American Academy. Gary, I will play this one in context because I'm sure you're not understanding what the American Academy is, but this is part of Agenda 47. I've already listened to this. It's really great. So as everybody knows, Biden's been trying to pay off people's college loans, right? That's what he's been trying to do. It's been shot down by Supreme Court justices, and he's still been doing it illegally. This is one thing that Biden's been breaking because he goes against the Supreme Court decision. But let me play what the American Academy is. I think this might actually not be a bad idea. When I listen to what Trump's vision is for the American Academy, I kind of like it, and I want to get your opinion on this one. So here's Agenda 47, the American Academy. Let's go ahead and let's play this video here by Trump. Here we go. God, look at his hair. Trump, please. I know you ain't listening to my podcast, but Trump, if you ever do, please do something with that hair, my man. It looks like you just crawled out of bed. All right, here we go. This is the American Academy, folks.
In recent weeks, Americans have been horrified to see students and faculty at Harvard and other once respected universities expressing support for the savages and jihadists who attacked Israel. We spend more money on higher education than any other country, and yet they're turning our students into communists and terrorists and sympathizers of many, many different dimensions. We can't let this happen. It's time to offer something dramatically different. Under the plan I'm announcing today, we will take the billions and billions of dollars that we will collect by taxing, fining, and suing excessively large private university endowments, and we will then use that money to endow a new institution called the American Academy. Its mission will be to make a truly world-class education available to every American, free of charge, and do it without adding a single dime to the federal debt. This institution will gather an entire universe of the highest quality educational content covering the full spectrum of human knowledge and skills, and make that material available to every American citizen online for free. Whether you want lectures or ancient histories or an introduction to financial accounting or training in a skilled trade, the goal will be to deliver it and get it done properly, using study groups, mentors, industry partnerships, and the latest breakthrough in computing This will be a truly top tier education option for the people. It will be strictly non political, and there will be no wokeness or jihadism allowed. None of that's going to be allowed. Most importantly, the American Academy will compete directly with the existing and very costly 4-year university system by granting students degree credentials that the U.S. government and all federal contractors will henceforth recognize. The Academy will award the full and complete equivalent of a bachelor's degree. In addition, to help the 40 million Americans who have some college education but no degree, the American Academy will grant credit for past coursework at legacy institutions and give you the chance to complete your education at the American Academy for free and much more quickly than is now possible or available. This will be a revolution in higher education and will provide life-changing opportunities for tens of millions of our citizens. Enjoy it, learn from it, and thank you.
So, I mean, yeah, so Terry made a comment, right? Nothing in life is free, but he is promising that it's not going to come from taxpayers. It's going to come from the funds, but eventually funds do run out. So if the funds run out, where does that money go? Where does that money come from, I should say? I like the idea. It is a vision. To me, it sounds like a good idea. What's your thoughts on the American Academy?
Well, I mean, in theory, it sounds like a good idea, but like Terry said, it's, money, those things. If you're hiring the elite teachers, first of all, they're not going to be cheap, right? If they're going to keep like woke ideology out of it, that's not going to be easy. They should really focus on like some of the core principles that like make America what it is, and that's like the freedom to like build a business and build your own empire, right? People come here for opportunity, for financial freedom, and obviously right now the economic state for most people is kind of in a negative position. So I feel like the whole STEM, like science, technology, engineering, and math, that needs to be a primary focus. Like bring back art, bring back like music, and then also teach economics at a younger age. I think teaching people how to do taxes, better understand the tax law, how to run a small business so they don't necessarily need to work like a 40-hour week job at some place that they hate. I don't know. There's a lot of creative ways for people to make money and to have that work-life balance. And I feel like people need to be taught that. And in addition to that, like going into the trades, I think is an amazing thing. Like I have friends who are electricians and they're making good money, and they're not working until they're dead. I have friends who are plumbers. They're working, they have good hours, kind of long hours sometimes, but they also have a lot of freedom. They get to travel, they get to go out, spend time with their family. They get to afford, dependable vehicles. They're not concerned so much about the price of groceries. Their kids all have like brand new shoes and good clothes. If their tire blows, it doesn't completely deplete like their bank account. Like being in a trade is a good thing. Learning how to weld, learning how to run wire, learning how to be a plumber, learning the HVAC systems. Like these are all really critical skills for infrastructure, and we need them. AI is not going to replace that.
No.
And our infrastructure is kind of old and decrepit in America, and we do need a stronger, smarter, better equipped workforce that can completely overhaul and level up our infrastructure. Like we have bridges that are 200 years old and they're collapsing and people are dying. And it's like, we need to fix that. Like we just need to fix the core basic root elements that made America a badass country, 100 years ago.
Right. And the thing is too, that when we're talking about these core elements, they got to go back to in general, in school in general too, not just in college. Because look at where our high schools at right now and our middle schools and stuff like that. They're not teaching these kids like they used to teach us. I'm like, when we were in high school and middle school, we had home ec that taught us the basics of cooking, check writing. What is it? fuck. Curses,
Sewing,
like that. Yeah,
learning
sewing.
how to sew, learn how to like stitch shit together, learn how to make food, learn how to keep your house afloat. People just live on fast food nowadays. People don't even know how to cook anything other than a box meal, and they still fuck that up.
And the problem with our society today, and folks, listen, I am guilty of this. I own my own business. I bust my ass at nighttime. But listen, one of the biggest things that we have right now is this younger generation, in my opinion, are seeing content creators like us, or even those big content creators will say, I don't know, Jeffree Star, Mr. Beast, all them out there, how they're making thousands upon thousands of dollars daily. These kids see that and they try chasing that dream. But what is it like? For a content creator to make that large amount of money, it's like one out of 100,000 that's going to possibly make it like that. I mean, it's the hardest thing to ever do is again the content creation.
And to kind of put it into context, you got to think about it like this: like how many little league, or I don't even know the names of the leagues anymore, but like how many Pop Warner kids are out there playing football? How many kids are out there on that Thursday soccer league? How many kids are out there playing hockey and roller hockey and trying to do the basketball thing? And then you expand on that and you look at the amount of people that make it to the pro level, right? Like
Right.
it's a very, very, very small amount of people who make it to that elite level. But it doesn't mean you can't be good and have a good time playing those sports and doing those things. You're definitely not making enough money to retire on podcasting, but
No.
you do it as a labor of love. You like the process. You like the tinkering with all the stuff, figuring out the problems, having conversations. You've met dozens of really cool people from TikTok and from the podcast, and so it's like that alone has some value and is rewarding in itself. And it's
Right.
not like you're necessarily going to be buying a new car or whatever, or a new house based off your podcast revenue. But
Right.
people look at it and that's what they want. And they need to be realistic about it. And it's like, do the things you like and find ways to make a little side money doing the things you like.
Exactly. No, I agree with that. All right, so let's go on. That was awesome. Listen, folks, we do need to focus on education, but education does start in middle school and high school. But to reiterate on as far as the American Academy, that is one thing I can say on Trump's Agenda 47 that I don't think is really going to work out. Like Gary says, we can't really see it financially because without it coming out of the taxpayer's pocket, which we don't want that, right? We want people to pay less taxes. That's the whole thing. Is the government's already getting more taxes out of us than they absolutely should be. Um, so the object is to figure out how we're not going to keep having more taxes coming
And
out
it's
of our.
like if you have Meta funding it, or if you have whoever funding it, if someone's pouring millions of dollars into something, they want to have their influence on it. And that's
Exactly.
kind of where we're at with the political system right now. We have these special interests that are, influencing the policies that are shaping our nation right now. And it's proving to not be good.
Agreed. All right. Let's move on to the next Agenda 47, folks, because otherwise we'll be here forever. Let me swap back over to the screen. We're going to try swapping back forth when we're talking because it makes it a lot easier. All right. So we've already talked about school a lot, but President Trump did have a pledge to homeschool families as well. I believe it was something like in the borderline of sending $6,000 to families that are doing homeschooling to help them buy supplies and the stuff that they would need to make it for successful homeschooling. With that part of the agenda, I 100% agree with that. I think that would be great because a lot more families are homeschooling because of what we are just talking about, the wokeness within inside of schools. And parents are not liking that the schools are teaching the kids the things outside of the norm that they should be learning: reading, writing, math, the basic necessities of life. I agree with that. And so for that, I applaud him on that for the pledge to homeschool families.
But that also begs the same question as the other thing is
Hello.
$6,000 is not a tremendous amount of money, but when you roll that out to 10 million people, that becomes a lot of money. So where does that $6,000 come from?
Right. Agreed.
Does that family just get like a $6,000 tax break?
Ooh.
And if that's the case, that's still going to affect other people's taxes. So Like anything that has to do with funding stuff, like we have what, 37 or 39 trillion dollars in debt right now. We have to dig ourselves out of that hole.
Right. So
And
right here, when you were asking about that, let me read the finances on that. So it says under the Trump tax cuts, we allowed families to use 529 education savings accounts to spend up to $10,000 a year tax free on tuition for grades K through 12. This was a tremendous win for school choice, very important school choice. Remember the term. And yet that benefit did not apply to homeschoolers. So support the growing homeschool movement. In its next term, I will immediately fight to allow homeschool parents the same incredible benefit, $10,000 a year per child, completely tax free to spend on costs associated with homeschool education. He does not explain where it would come from. So my guess is that would be coming from taxpayer, or it'd come from the tariffs and stuff like that that he does wants to impose back on China once he gets back in there. But yeah, I agree with you. Like, where's this money coming from? There's one thing, like we in order for us to get out of this rut as Americans to become back to being able to afford to go on vacations and afford our groceries again, we've got to stop, number one, sending money to overseas to other countries. We got to stop taxing the hell out of Americans. We got to do something to get the money back into our pockets.
people with money spend money.
Right. So Sonny just says, I don't know how much you know, but books are, yeah, the books are
dumb.
very expensive. They are extremely expensive, Sonny. I'll agree with you on that one. Yep, the money is going out of American East. Exactly, Terry. Agree with you. All. Where is our money going? So he's got a lot of things on school. Let's go over to actually. I haven't got down to this one because we got flagged last time on TikTok. Let's go with the Agenda 47. President Trump's 10 principles for great schools leading to great jobs. Yeah, let me play this audio, and I'm going to see what the wife has to say here.
Make sure you play the audio first.
Yes, sir. Oh, well, no, the wife just, there's a shelter in place in Portland, Maine.
Oh, gnarly.
The United States spends more money on education than any other country in the world, and yet we get the worst outcomes. We're at the bottom of every list. In total, American society pours more than $1 trillion a year into public education systems. But instead of being at the top of the list, we are literally right smack, guess what? At the bottom.
Oh, there you go.
Rather than indoctrinating young people with inappropriate racial, sexual, and political material, which is what we're doing now, our schools must be totally refocused to prepare our children to succeed in the world of work and in life and the world of keeping our country strong so they can grow up to be happy, prosperous, and independent citizens. We owe our children great schools that lead to great jobs and leads to an even greater country that we're living in right now. Right now, we're living in a failing nation because of Joe Biden and these people running it. They're Marxists, they're communists. What they're doing to our country is incredible, but we'll take care of that for our children. Here are 10 key ideas that will power our movement for great schools. First, we will respect the right of parents to control the education of their children. Second, we will empower parents and local school board to hire and reward great principals and teachers, and also to fire the poor ones, the one whose performance is unsatisfactory. They will be fired. Like on The Apprentice, you're fired. Third, we will ensure our classrooms are focused not on political indoctrination, but on teaching the knowledge and skills needed to succeed. Reading, writing, math, science, arithmetic, and other truly useful subjects. Fourth, we will teach students to love their country, not to hate their country like they're taught right now. Fifth, we will support bringing back prayer to our schools. Sixth, we will achieve schools that are safe, secure, and drug-free, with immediate expulsion for any student who harms a teacher or another student. Seventh, we will give all parents the right to choose another school for their children if they want. It's called school choice. Eighth, we will ensure students have access to project-based learning experiences inside the classroom to help train them for meaningful work outside the classroom. Ninth, we will strive to give all students access to internships and work experiences that can set them on a path to their first job They're going to be very, very successful. I want them to be more successful than Trump. Let them go out and be more successful. I will be the happiest person in the world. But we want our children to have a great life and be successful. And 10th, we will ensure that all schools provide excellent jobs and career counseling so that high school and college students can get a head start on jobs and careers best suited to their God given talents. This is how we will ensure a great education for every American child. And one other thing I'll be doing very early in the administration is closing up the Department of Education in Washington, D.C., and sending all education and education work and needs back to the states. We want them to run the education of our children because they'll do a much better job of it. You can't do worse. We spend more money per pupil by 3 times than any other nation, and yet we're absolutely at the bottom. We're one of the worst. So you can't do worse. We're going to end education coming out of Washington, D.C. We're going to close it up, all those buildings all over the place, and you have people that in many cases hate our children. We're going to send it all back to the states. Thank you very much.
I, I agree with all that. The only thing I didn't agree with, and hear me out, folks, I do not agree with bringing prayer back into school, only because there are multitudes of different variations of prayers. Like, how would you honor that for each child that may be different, or some families who don't practice religion, right? You can't force religion upon anybody. I don't care who you are. You can't force religion on anybody. So for that, I don't agree with. I would definitely agree with bringing back Pledge of Allegiance in the school, though. Pledge allegiance to the American flag, as everybody should if you're living in this country. But everything else, I'd agree with on that one.
So the one thing,
Let me go over here. Go ahead and keep talking.
one thing that everybody is focusing on is important when it comes to finances and the ability to have jobs and opportunities, right? Like that's really important. But something that for some reason, and I can't quite understand why, keeps getting skipped over, looked over, and not talked about quite enough, in my opinion, is health and wellness and fitness. And I know that this is like a hill I'm willing to die on,
It is.
but I feel like the healthier you are and the better shape you're in, the more confident you are, the more willing you are to take those risks and to, like, when you're younger, you have a lot of energy, right? And it's really hard to sit down in a classroom and to focus on some courses that are mentally challenging. They're hard. You have to think and you have to focus, and they're, for the vast majority of people, they're boring. And so when you get to, and you're sitting there and you're like, like you want to go and do shit, like you have energy that's pent up, and people undervalue the mental and cognitive benefits that come with fitness. When you get your heart rate up really high for an extended period of time, and when you can move your body and you have control over your body through through space, and you have good spatial awareness and body control, there's a tremendous benefit to your mental capacity, your confidence, etc. And the healthier your population is, the stronger your population is, the less need they have for big pharma and medical necessity. Sure, you're going to have more people with twisted ankles and sprained wrists and broken legs or whatever, but it's like that shit heals. And that to me is a much easier burden to bear than somebody who's 13 years old, obese, diabetic, and on high blood pressure medications, because by the time they're 30, their lifespan has already been decreased a tremendous amount. They hate their life. They hate the way they feel in their skin. They're depressed. Anger issues come up, and then they turn into less viable members of society.
Like the
So
lady at the center table at the Olympics.
yeah, man, like look, in a lot of that, there are people who are obese and they have some thyroid issues or whatever, and unless you've got some genetic disorder that's not caused by your lifestyle, then I feel like it's a bullshit excuse to be lazy. The vast majority, and I mean like 90+% of the people who are grossly overweight, it's due to poor choices, right? They don't eat, they don't exercise. And exercise is free. You can literally run, you can walk, you can do push ups, you can do air squats, you can do crunches. There's a million different things you can do with just your body weight. You can buy a $40 kettlebell, and that shit will last you your lifetime. It's cast iron. And there are a million things that you can do with that to be stronger and healthier and just a better human being. People need to spend the time to invest in their health and well-being.
So
Because
Terry, sorry, Terry
just
was saying,
the better you look, the better you feel, the more confident you are, and the better your brain works.
Terry, I agree that that does start in the home, though. The family should be somewhat active within the family to get the kids motivated. Less social media, less electronics, more outside, more hiking as a family to get your kids involved in that. But I do agree with you as far as schools go. Gyms have changed since we were in school.
Dude,
We used to be completely active in gym, forced to run. There was no way you could get out of the running. You're a freaking PE teacher treated you like he was a freaking drill sergeant, made sure your ass ran. The only way you couldn't is if you actually had a note from your mother that day telling you you're sick. That's it. So
but
like,
even though it can be faked, and if you have a shitty mom who doesn't really care, then maybe your mom's lazy and your mom's overweight and she says working out is hard. You don't have to do it. That's why you have to do it, is because it's hard. When
right.
you suffer and you put yourself through those hard things and you overcome the mental challenge of wanting to quit, that makes you a better person. Period.
No, I 100% agree with you on. Listen, folks, he's bringing this up kind of heavy, but trust me, y'all have never heard it from him like I have, and so many times. But I will say, this guy has helped me push down from being 260 pounds to now sitting at 190. So for that, yes, he's big on his fitness, but I agree with everything he does say, even though I still don't do physical shit yet, but I work plenty enough where I.
Just do mobility, dude. Just work on your fucking mobility. It'll help you. I swear to
Oh,
God.
man. But yeah, the young kids are crazy. Let's see. We had no choice. We had to wear specific shorts, shirt, and shoes. Exactly, Terry. That you did when you went to the gym. You had to wear the shorts or the sweatpants and stuff like that. That was the good days. We used to play dodgeball. That's back in the day when you actually were going to get pegged by a damn ball and that thing was going to sting.
Yeah.
Like those are the good days in gym. And Vicky, I see you over on Facebook. Hello. But yeah, let's go back in. So yeah, we need to work on getting the kids in school. And folks, if your school is coming up talking about cell phones in school, here's my opinion on it real quick because I just remember my kid's school just had a thing on it. Kids having cell phones in school, do I think they should? If they keep them in their lockers when they're in a classroom, because it's or if they're gonna have them in the classroom, they got to turn them in at the teacher's desk until the end of it. But I also don't think teachers should have their cell phones while they're teaching kids, even during tests. I think cell phones are a complete distraction within school, but I get why parents want their kids to have cell phones these days in school because you never know when there's going to be an emergency and a kid needs to call a loved one or whatever. But not having them on them and not using them within class, because that's one thing. Kids are getting too lazy now and they're not focusing on the teacher. They're focusing with the phone in their hand. But that was just my opinion on things. We were talking about that. If they're responsible, especially in today's world. Yeah, I get you. I get you, Vicky, over there on Facebook. But let's go back to Agenda 47. Agenda 47. Let's scroll back over to the screen, please. Get back to Mr. Donald Trump. Agenda 47. America must have the number one lowest cost energy and electricity on Earth. I don't know how he's going to do that on Earth. But let's see what Trump has to say, because this is further than what I made when I tried doing this personally. And it seems that we've got an open dialogue, seems to be better, and TikTok's liking this a lot better. We're not getting flagged for our content. All right, so here we go
If
with
America is going to dominate the world in manufacturing once again, as it did when I was running things, you remember when they used to say you can't have manufacturing jobs in our country anymore? I said, really, why? And we created hundreds of thousands of them. But we must be the most affordable energy and electricity place anywhere on the planet. We have to have affordable energy. Right now we have energy that's weak, substandard, and unaffordable. It's made by the wind. The windmills rust, they rot, they kill the birds. It's the most expensive energy there is. And we have other things that are also no good. It's called the Green New Deal. I call it the Green New Hoax. One of the reasons manufacturing jobs were flooding back into the United States when I was president was that we dramatically reduced energy costs. Sadly, crooked Joe Biden sacrificed this tremendous economic advantage on the altar of the Green New Deal, perhaps because he was bribed by Communist China or because Communist China knows all of the money that they paid him. We have a Manchurian candidate. That's what he is. He's a Manchurian candidate. They know everything about him, and he's scared stiff. He won't do a thing. I take in hundreds of billions of dollars from China, and Joe Biden's afraid to even talk to him. Biden's war on American energy has sent prices soaring, and his latest actions will make it catastrophically worse. It's going to be bad at a level that we've never seen. This will be so bad. Under Biden's newly proposed power plant regulations, most natural gas and coal plants will be forced to shut down. By the way, they tried that in Germany, and now they're going back and building coal plants all over the place because they've destroyed Germany. They have no energy. So Germany now is building a coal plant every 2 weeks. And China is building a coal plant every week, every single week. They're putting up a new coal plant. And we're playing games with the wind. This is terrible what's happening to our country. There is nothing to replace our energy at this time, not even close. It's very expensive and it's very weak. It doesn't have the power to power up those big plants that you see. At the same time as Biden is shutting down existing power plants, he also wants to force hundreds of millions of Americans into ultra-expensive electric vehicles. They cost twice as much as what you have, and what you have is better, and it goes a lot longer, and it's a lot easier to fill up, and we have liquid gold under our feet at a level that no other country has. But they'll strain the grid to the breaking point. It already is at a breaking point. If you look at California, it's got brownouts and blackouts every single day. People can't turn on their air conditioners. And it'll drive electricity prices into the stratosphere. If Biden's policies go forward, our electricity costs will be the highest on earth. They're already very close. With shortages, blackouts, and crippling inflation, U.S. manufacturing will be dead, absolutely dead, and China will be laughing all the way to the bank. They will end up controlling the world. My plan is the exact opposite. As president, I will set a national goal of ensuring that America has the #1 lowest cost of energy of any industrial country anywhere on earth. I want to be #1. We were energy independent just 3 years ago, and now we're begging Venezuela for their oil, and yet we have many times more than any other country. There's no country, Saudi Arabia, Russia, no country has what we have. We will develop the liquid gold that is right under our feet, including American oil and natural gas, and we will also embrace nuclear, clean coal, hydropower, which is fantastic, and every other form of affordable energy to get it done. We will not only match China, we will be cheaper than China by a lot, and more energy will mean lower inflation, and it'll mean more jobs. I will cancel Biden's ruinous power plant rule, terminate his electric vehicle mandate. If you want to buy an electric car, that's fine, but you're going to be able to buy every other form of car also. And unleash domestic energy production like never before. But just think of it, energy independence 3 years ago, energy dominance was going to follow very shortly. We're going to pay off our debt. We're going to lower taxes for everybody. And they ended that, immediately ended it. First day, they ended it. I will fully modernize the electric grid to prepare it for the next 100 years, implement rapid approvals for energy projects, and greenlight the construction of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of brand new, beautiful power plants that actually work. This will pave the way for an enormous growth in American wealth. In the future, every manufacturing plant, every data center, every semiconductor facility and assembly line will want to be built in America. They're all going to want to be in America. So we're going to have the lowest cost of energy. It's a big factor. This will be the place where the cost of energy is lower than any place else on earth, where the economy is stronger than any place else on earth, and where the workers are the best, brightest, and most talented anywhere in the world. I want to thank you very much. We cannot let this man.
All right, that's where he's just going to talk a little shit right there. But I do agree with him. We do got to get back to becoming energy independent here in the United States. Our oil and our gas is freaking insanely high. That is a big factor. And yeah, we can't just survive off of windmills or just solar panels. We really can't. Not in the thriving electricity society that we live in.
I mean, I'm pro nuclear. I think that the newer technology for nuclear is totally, it is what it is. I think it's fine. I'm pro oil. I'm pro wave technology. I'm pro wind technology. I'm pro solar technology. I don't think that there's any one solution. I feel like the combination of all of these things together can get us there. Everybody trying to have like this one golden rule or this one silver bullet that's going to like be the solution. I think they're missing the mark, because it's a multi-pronged problem and it's going to require multiple solutions to make it right. And
Right.
I like, as much as I want manufacturing to be leveled up in America, because it'll help keep our costs for the bullshit that consumerism has made us all crave. Like the one we have to like we do have to be mindful of our land, right? So
100%.
with production, there's a ton of chemicals that are used, and like if we're going to be leveling up the manufacturing and the production here, we need to be mindful of how that stuff is being stored and disposed of, because there's companies nowadays, even locally, if they're near the river, they're dumping toxins into the river. And if we're going to be leveling up manufacturing, we absolutely need to be mindful of the well-being of our waterways and the land in general. I'm not saying don't drill for oil, drill for that shit. We need it. I'm all about it. But we need to be extra careful in setting up the pipelines. Like, let's make sure that if we're going through Montana, that we're not going to destroy the pristine landscape that is Montana. They call it God's country for a reason. Like, it is immensely beautiful. There's very few places on the planet that have that kind of beauty. And we just need to make sure that when we level up the manufacturing, that it's done in a way that doesn't destroy our landscape and our waterways. I'm all about it otherwise, though.
Yeah, wasn't it like during the pipeline proposal when they had it? Wasn't it like anything they dug up when they planted the pipeline in the ground? They're going to rebury it and put trees back on top of it, so that way if they took down any trees, they replanted the trees, so the pipeline did not destroy any of the forestry. I believe that was the intentions with that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know the logistics or the details of it, but I know that we need oil as a society, and I'm not anti-oil. I think it's fine, but we just need to be like, fracking is pretty dangerous. It's ruining well water. And like, that's like, we need to just make sure that in pulling up some natural resources, we're not destroying the others, because if we're focused too much on making money, we're losing touch with the fact that like, we need clean air, we do need clean water, we need the soil to be healthy, and it needs to be robust, and it needs to have, proper mycelium and proper nutrients, and we just have to really be mindful of the fact that we need to take care of our land. Like, it's not all about money. We in addition to money, we need to take care of our land. It's our health. Without healthy land, we can't grow healthy food. If we don't have healthy food, we're not going to have a healthy population. And
Agreed.
I don't want to get too short-sighted on just making money.
Gotcha. I have a well, and thank God that my dad. Gotcha. All right, y'all. I love it. The comments are going crazy over on TikTok here. But just so everybody knows, we are seeing everything you guys write out there. There's a lot of stuff on Agenda 47. For those who are just tuning in, listen, we're recapping over Trump's Agenda 47. It is not the Project 2025 that Biden has said that that's what Trump and his campaign is running on. Trump has even come out and said that it is not Project 2025. Project 2025 is something that the Democrats are using to try to pull more people away from Trump. Just know that it is created by the Heritage Foundation. It is. The Heritage Foundation is this big thing full of a bunch of think tanks, right? And they came up with Project 2025, and somehow the Democrats try and attach that to Trump, but it is not Trump. Trump is Agenda 47, and what we've been doing today is going over Agenda 47. We're going to try cutting through some of these videos. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to read through. If Gary says, "Hey, I want that to be elaborated more," we're going to elaborate it. Otherwise, we're going to kind of go through and read through because there's quite a bit in Agenda 47. So we're just going to read through them. If Gary says that he's ready for a video analysis of it, I will play the video. What we're going to do now is we're going to scroll back over to Agenda 47, which you can find at donaldjtrump.com / Agenda 47. This is what we're on right now. We're just on Trump's website. So the next thing up on Agenda 47 is returning production of essential medicines back to America and ending Biden's pharmaceutical shortages. I will agree. There's a lot of ADD and ADHD medicine and stuff like that right now that is slowed down because that's made out in China. I don't know why we're not making that here in America. We should be making a lot more of our medicine here in America because of a potential terrorist attack, if you really want to think about it, can be done within our pharmaceuticals with our medicine.
Even if they make it here, we need to not source the raw materials from overseas because they could easily taint raw materials.
Exactly. No, I agree with you. We need to make the raw materials here, as long with sourcing out the.
Or if they're coming from overseas, we need to make sure that it's from our ally, not somebody who's at an economic and potential military war with us.
Agreed. All right, so that's that one on that Agenda 47. The next one is President Trump calls for death penalty for human traffickers. I'm not sure where that one is right there, but that he obviously, well, I guess I know what it is. I guess the way I would look at this one here, if I wanted to give my elaborate on it, as far as President Trump calls for death penalty for human traffickers, I would say if someone was killed while being trafficked, yes, I get that. But if they're busted, maybe a life sentence, but I wouldn't do a death penalty.
So when they say human traffickers, is that sex traffic or is that like a coyote, someone bringing in illegal immigrants from overseas or from internationally? We don't need to play the video. Does he have like words?
Yeah, he does have words. He's talking about The Sound of Freedom. Did you ever get to watch The Sound of Freedom?
No.
Damn good movie and an eye opener, and actually, believe it or not, made me teary eyed. I'm just looking earlier this week. President Trump hosted a screening, Sound of Freedom, Texas. Hold on, seeing right real quick if you got it. All right. I was thrilled to host. Under my leadership, we did more. I signed a legislation to crack down on foreign countries who are not meeting standards and limiting trafficking.
Yeah, so using traffickers to exploit vulnerable women and children. So yeah, for sure, I'm not down with that. Those people should, death penalty if that's what he's saying. I'm not opposed to that.
Okay, perfect. All right, let's go on to the next one then. Agenda 47, rescuing America's auto industry from Joe Biden's disastrous job-killing policies. We need more American cars. Just please don't let it be a Ford.
I like the new Fords, if I'm going to be honest. The Bronco Raptor looks pretty dope. The Ranger Raptor is pretty sick. The F-350 Super Duty, I just saw a bunch of those this last weekend, and damn, if I could afford one of those things, oh man, would I be up in one of those.
I'm not sure. I'm not a fan of Ford.
But the new ones look so dope, dude.
Yeah, but they're probably like what right now in today's economy? How much are they going for?
I don't know. Look up Ford F-350 Super Duty. Let's just do a quick schmoogle here.
Look it up real quick. Let me know how much they're going for. We just had some type of an appeal lost on TikTok. I'm not sure what that was, ladies and gentlemen. We're shooting the shit. As long as we're still live on TikTok, y'all can still see me. I'm good over here.
Okay, I mean, it's not cheap. 2024 Ford F-350 Super. Oh, this is the Lariat. So $89,000.
Holy what?
That's what I'm saying. If I could afford one of these, wouldn't even be a question. I love my Tacoma, but damn, dude, these things are so sick.
89. I could have
And
never.
then here's one for 94. Here's one for 99. It's the King Ranch Super Duty. God damn though. 101 for this one. Now I'm gonna look at that one just because.
Dude.
Yeah, dude. Not
Like
even a question.
$30,000 max is all I'd ever spend on a vehicle. Anything over that,
You say that now, but if you got in one of these F-350 Super Duties, that's a Lariat, and it's got the off-road package, and you drove it,
but it's like $100,000, right?
I mean, this particular one I'm looking at is 101,715.
Okay, so my house is 260,000. That'd be like half of my house, half that.
Yeah.
And then of course the payments on that thing's what, going to be 900.
This one's $1,500 a month.
Holy
Estimated payment, but that's with a $20,000 down payment.
Oh hell no.
But dude, that's what I'm saying. If you could afford it, if your budget allowed for something like this,
Maybe if I was rolling in a dough, maybe, but like I don't know. That's still quite a bit of money for a car.
dude,
If I'm gonna spend something like that large amount of money, I want to go like a Lambo or
fuck a Lambo. You can't do anything with a Lambo.
Sure you can.
No, you can't. You can drive. That's it. With this Super Duty Platinum F-350, you are hauling the sickest trailers, and you're going on road trips, and you're hauling whatever the hell you want because it's an F-350 Super Duty. There's nothing you can't do.
You got a boner right now talking about this?
Dude, kind of. I don't want to stand up. These things are sick, dude. I love my little Tacoma, but I saw some of these this last weekend. I was like, fuck, that's a rad vehicle. I like it.
Carrie said she'd pull our house with that truck.
Man, you can. You can.
Oh, Lord have mercy. All right. Now that Gary's got his little
right.
love date out of the way with the vehicles, let's get back over to Agenda 47.
Oh, yes.
Yes, Agenda 47. We were down to rebuilding America's depleted military. Yes, please. Can we get our military back on par? Can we also take wokeness back out of military? That would be great if we can get the wokeness out of military.
Now, here's something that I'll probably get some pushback, but
oh boy,
yeah, I think it would be good for having some pride in the country if we did make it mandatory from 18 to 20 for people to be enlisted and to do a minimum of a 2-year stint, go through the basic, get some of the discipline, and do a 2-year run in the military. I think there would be some benefit to that.
I can't say that I wouldn't deny that with you. I think there's a lot of countries right now. Look at Israel. Israel has a mandatory, men and women have a mandatory military duty to do that. That would be great, but then again, you'd be taken away from the land of the free, home of the brave aspect of America if we did do that.
Well, then incentivize it. You know what I mean? Like if people are struggling to go to school when you graduate high school, you can go for those 2 years. You'll get your school paid for, and it can guarantee you some type of skill for when you get out, you're making a livable wage.
All right. I mean, I can't say that I'm too game for it. I think that as far as in trying to get people, I definitely believe that we should have the selective service. I believe that should be both for men and women.
Someone's saying the GI Bill does that already. Is that a mandatory? Like, is that guaranteed?
Yes, that is guaranteed. As long as you do 4 years, 4 years.
See, 4 years. So that's kind of a long chunk. But if they could do something like that with a 2-year stint, I think that might be a little more encouraging for people to get in those 2 years. And if they could extend the benefits or whatever for those who do a 4-year, I don't know. I feel like it would be good. I feel like a lot of people lack discipline. There's a lot of broken homes. I feel like there could be some potential benefit for that. And yeah, it does cost money, But if we can get ourselves out of this 37,000 or $37 trillion debt that we're in, then we can find money to invest in ourselves.
All right. So Billie Jean over on TikTok is saying her neighbor is enlisted and they don't even have the money for a sign-on bonus right now, or for
Right.
that is
For
insane.
sure. The system is broken right now. If Trump is making all these empty promises, or I call them empty promises because I feel like everybody makes promises that they can't hold up to when they're running for president. But if he's making these promises and if he can deliver on them and get the debt down and to, make us energy dominant and all of that, then there should be some financial incentive for the country to invest in itself. And I think a minimum 2-year would do a pretty decent little job.
Agreed. Jim Bone and Billie Jean have been going crazy. Jim Bone, listen, I have not been ignoring you, my man. So for those who are listening on other platforms and on audio, TikTok chat is going crazy. I've been trying to keep an eye on the chat, folks. We've been just trying to push through this Agenda 47. But I do see Jim Bone's been talking about the illegal immigration, the people coming over the border. How are we going to fix that? Well, number one, we got to get our wall built, right? We do got to deport everybody. We got to let them know that, hey, America's not opened up. You come to that border, you're going to be stopped. A couple of things that we've noticed has been going on the border. You guys understand that when Trump was in office and we were controlling our border, that we had a rapid DNA test done for children. So if a child came over with an adult, we did a rapid DNA test to see if that child's DNA matched the person that they're with. And if that DNA didn't match, that child got separated from that adult until we could find where the adult that is responsible for that child. We do need to fix our borders. The borders are the number one thing we do need to fix. That's the biggest thing on everybody's minds right now because crime is picked up everywhere. I don't care where you live, what state you live in, crime is up everywhere. So I do see where you guys are talking about that. We can definitely do a podcast and talk about borders here in the future. And it looks like my brother's wife finally made him something to eat because he's got chopsticks in hand. He's about ready to slap some meat in his mouth. Meanwhile, Meanwhile, that tells me that we've been moving really kind of slow on the podcast chat. So let me push through here, through some more of this agenda 47 here. So there's a dog saying hello now. So let's get to Agenda 47, protecting students from the radical left Marxist maniacs infesting educational institutions. Once again, I believe the school system should be to the basics. And if you go to college to become a doctor, you should be learning about everything that a doctor needs to know to make it a success within their career. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm sorry. There's breaking news coming to my phone in regards to the Trump assassination. We'll talk about that another time. Agenda 47, protecting Americans by taking on big pharma and ending global freeloading. 100% agree. We need to stop handing out our money to other countries. That's another reason why America is so in debt. If you hear of anything you want me to elaborate, Gary, you just let me know.
Yeah.
Agenda 47, cementing fair and reciprocal trade with the Trump Reciprocal Trade Act. All right, that's the tariffs and stuff like that. So I get what he's talking about for that. So if they're going to charge us a tariff, he's going to turn around and charge them a tariff as well to make up for the tariff that they're charging us. I've heard him talk about that so many times during his rallies. Using empowerment to cut waste, stop inflation, and crush the deep state. We do have a problem with the deep state right now, hence the reason why y'all are getting ready. The Democrats are now only going to be able to get that. Well, they got Kamala Harris put in there. It's because of the deep state. You can't tell me otherwise. Agenda 47, addressing rise of chronic childhood illness. But Gary, that goes back to here. Let's go with it because that's a good one, right? Childhood illness. That goes back to what my brother Gary was talking about originally too, right? Part of the reasons why a lot of children are getting sick now these days because they're not getting outside, they're not playing, they're not burning off energy, they're not eating healthy. The problem that we have in America that you won't see in any other country is that certain ingredients that they put into our food here in America that they don't put anywhere else. Like the dyes that they put in our foods here in the US, they don't allow in other countries, they're forbidden. Like we have stuff that's allowed here in our food in America that are not allowed anywhere else. What's going on, Blake? I see you out there, Billie Jean as well. So yeah, we do need to get our younger generation to eat better, get healthier by getting more outside exercise and so forth and playing, and let them know there's more to life than computer screens, TikTok, YouTube. Sorry,
So I think I've done this before on one of the things that we talked about, but like the US version versus the UK version. So if anybody's listening and you want to kind of Google this for yourself and look at it while I talk about it, that'd be cool. So just Google Quaker oatmeal ingredients US versus UK. And so here's one that's blueberries and cream. In the UK, whole grain oats, sugar, dried blueberries, salt, dried cream, non-fat dry milk, natural flavor, and then tocopherols. I don't know what that is. But then the American version is all of that plus corn syrup, solids, modified food starch, dextrose glycerin, blueberry juice concentrate, canola oil, artificial blueberry flavor, citric acid, blue 2 lake, I don't know what that is, red 40 lake, creaming agent, maltodextrin, sunflower and palm oils, whey sodium caseinate, then salt, calcium carbonate, guar gum, artificial flavor, niacinamide, vitamin A, palmitate, reduced iron, prioxidine, something I can't see because there's a logo over it, riboflavin, soy lectin, thymine, mononitrate, folic acid. What the fuck? That's crazy. Ketchup, tomatoes, spirit vinegar, salt, sugar, spices, and herbs. Tomato concentrate, distilled vinegar, high fructose corn syrup, salt, spice, onion powder, and then other natural flavoring. So it's just more, right? So why? Why? And I'm looking at macaroni and cheese versus cheesy pasta in the UK.
oh boy,
They have like a handful of ingredients, and then Jesus Lord, the US version is like, so the cheesy pasta
yeah.
is this long, and then the US version is this long of the ingredients that are listed in there.
All right, let me. Jim Bones on TikTok says, "Make it taste better with poison."
It's crazy. And all of those things are hyper palatable. They cause food addiction. I don't care what anybody says about this. This is just my own personal experience. These things are hyper palatable. They cause food addiction. They disrupt your gut. It's like single ingredient foods, period. They are delicious when you get your palate off of the fast food. Like I have steak and broccoli sitting here right now that my wife just brought to me. These two things by themselves with a little bit of salt, wow, amazing. So good. The flavor is legitimately there. And if you add a fucking sweet potato to one of these things or a yam and you make some little fries, bomb. Like healthy food is actually super good, but our palates have been just taken over and taken hostage by all of these ingredients and just hyper palatable, added flavors that they keep putting in there to just, they lack nutrition and they are excessive in the caloric consumption. And you can eat and you don't really get full because it's empty calories. You eat a bowl of steak and broccoli, like you're gonna be full, period. And you're getting nutrient dense food. Like it drives me insane, this shit.
Nah, like
All right, rant over.
no, I agree. We got to stop eating less processed food, eat more, actually main ingredient foods. And
I
yeah,
don't even know how I got on that
the
tangent.
chat's agreeing with you though, man. The chat's going crazy. But Angie's Bake over on TikTok said, add garlic, add some garlic to it.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Sweet potatoes were created by the devil. Build-A-Hoe says.
Why? Because they're so damn delicious.
Terry
I
says
feel
her
you on
husband's
that.
100. They eat elk and deer meat. God, I love deer meat.
So
I
bomb.
deer meat
It's so
much.
good. It's so good.
Right? Yeah, elk is really good too. I've had elk once.
Oh man.
Oh man, but I haven't had it in a very long time. I got to get a hold of JC and see if he can send
Dude
me.
at my CrossFit is a bow hunter for elk, and he brings over some elk sausage and elk steaks and just hands them out to us. Oh, so good.
Yeah, I'll have to get a hold of JC, see if he can send me some elk. All right, folks, we are talking about Agenda 47. Would love some venison and onions. Ooh, venison and onions. You know what I like? Here's one. My wife hates it when I cook is liver and onions. My father got me hooked on that since a long time. A lot of people like the smell of it's kind of horrible, but as long as you can season it properly, liver and onions are really good.
Single ingredient foods. That's all you need.
But see, like I made homemade mac and cheese. So what did I do for that one? I had to use pasta, unfortunately. So pasta is a processed food.
No.
But everything else was a sweet Italian sausage. It was sharp cheddar cheese, milk, and egg. That's all that's in that, and it's freaking phenomenal. Terry says it's the texture for the liver and onions.
You didn't put any spice in your mac and cheese?
No, I don't season it at all.
No, but I mean like no peppers.
Well, I add black pepper to it when I
have you ever thought about making like a spicy mac and cheese with like some habaneros or some ghost pepper?
I bet it'd be really good. Maybe next time I'll do it because I made it to, like I told you, I spent 5 hours making it today, and I made fucking 3 big ass batches. So like I'm stuck eating mac and cheese next for like the 3 to 4 days nonstop. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Sounds delicious.
Oh, it absolutely is. I'm going to gain like 30 pounds.
Yeah, just find some protein to get in there. You'll be all right.
Right? All right, Chad, let's get back over to Agenda 47. Gary is shoving his face anyways.
Got to get this meat in my mouth.
Right? Ending the scourge of drug addiction in America. Number thing to do to start getting the drug addiction under control is what? Shut down our border and start fixing addiction. Getting more and more people back into rehab is a big thing. Getting them the help they need, then aiding and abetting them is better than anything. Not sending them to these places that allow you as a safe injection site. Get rid of those. We need them to get help. Sometimes they got to want the help to really to get the help, but we do need to give them the help that they need. We need to start penalizing them, especially if you're driving down the streets. What is it? Portland, Oregon has a big problem. You're driving, or even in some of these states here, cities here in Maine, you can drive down literally seeing people shooting up while you're going down the street. We need to stop that. If they're doing that in the streets, they need to be cuffed and stuffed right there, thrown in a jail.
That's been largely cleaned up.
Has it?
Here in Portland, for the most part. It's still out there, but if you look back over 3 years ago, it's much better than it was.
All right. Well, I'm glad they're cleaning it up because, yeah, that's one thing that needs to stop. Actually, I'll even keep it off the video until y'all want to hear a video. If y'all hear something that wants a video, we'll see. Agenda 47, Day 1 Executive Order. Ending citizenship for children of illegals and outlawing birth tourism. I think that's what is it. Hold on. What does he mean by that? Because I heard if you're born in America, you're considered an American citizen. All right, let's actually let me play this one because I am curious on this one. Let's go ahead and play the video on this one here. Oh shit! Give me one. All right, let's see here. I opened it up in a separate tab. I'm like, where's my video? All right, here we go. Day 1 Executive Order. Let's see what this is.
Joe Biden has launched an illegal foreign invasion of our country, allowing a record number of illegal aliens to storm across our borders from all over the world. They came. Under Biden's current policies, even though these millions of illegal border crossers have entered the country unlawfully, all of their future children will become automatic U.S. citizens. Can you imagine? They'll be eligible for welfare, taxpayer-funded health care, the right to vote, chain migration, and countless other government benefits, many of which will also profit the illegal alien parents. This policy is a reward for breaking the laws of the United States and is obviously a magnet helping draw the flood of illegals across our borders. They come by the millions and millions and millions. They come from mental institutions. They come from jails, prisoners. Some of the toughest, meanest people you'll ever see. The United States is among the only countries in the world that says that even if neither parent is a citizen nor even lawfully in the country, their future children are automatic citizens the moment the parents trespass onto our soil. As has been laid out by many scholars, this current policy is based on a historical myth and a willful misinterpretation of the law by the open borders advocates. There aren't that many of them around. It's amazing. Who wants this? Who wants to have prisoners coming into our country? Who wants to have people who are very sick coming into our country? People from mental institutions coming into our country? And come they will. They're coming by the thousands, by the tens of thousands. As part of my plan to secure the border on day one, my new term in office, I will sign an executive order making clear to federal agencies that under the correct interpretation of the law, going forward, the future children of illegal aliens will not receive automatic U.S. citizenship. It's things like this that bring millions of people to our country, and they enter our country illegally. My policy will choke off a major incentive for continued illegal immigration, deter more migrants from coming, and encourage many of the aliens Joe Biden has unlawfully let into our country to go back to their home countries. They must go back. Nobody could afford this. Nobody could do this. And even morally, it's so wrong. My order will also end their unfair practice known as birth tourism, where hundreds of thousands of people from all over the planet squat in hotels for their last few weeks of pregnancy to illegitimately and illegally obtain U.S. citizenship for the child, often to later exploit chain migration to jump the line and get green cards for themselves and their family members. It's a practice that's so horrible and so egregious, but we let it go forward. At least one parent will have to be a citizen or a legal resident in order to qualify. We will secure our borders and we will restore.
All right, so I agree with that then, 100%. At least, especially we just said at least one parent already has to be a U.S. citizen. Now I get it. I do like that idea, and I do agree with them. I do agree with them 100% on that. Because, yeah, you think about it, hey, if I can go in there and I have my child, then my child becomes an American citizen. All I got to do now is apply for a green card or whatever because my child's here. They're not going to let my child be here by themselves. So I 100% agree with them. I can see how that can be used and abused, just like some people use and abuse the welfare system, right? Some people making a shit ton of money and they use and abuse the welfare system, so they're double dipping. And they're making fucking more money than someone who's busting their ass working fucking 60 to 70 hours a week.
Got to admire the entrepreneurial spirit, but at the same time,
exactly,
someone else is footing that bill.
All right, folks, we are running very close to the end of here, so I'm going to kind of go through real quickly. Gary, if I run across anything, just yell at me for a video. Okay. But I'm going to try getting through this because I saw what time it is here. All right, folks, we're going to try to go through everything on Agenda 47M. We will do trivia tomorrow. Agenda 47, protecting students from the radical left, Marxist maniacs, infected educational institutions. Agenda 47, ending the nightmare of the homeless, drug addicts, and dangerously deranged.
Pull up this page. I want to see it when you're going over.
Oh, you want to see the page as I'm going through it? All right, give me 1 second. Let me get the page up. And here we go. All right. Agenda 47, liberating America on Biden's regulatory onslaught. Agenda 47, firing the radical Marxist prosecutors, destroying America. Agenda 47, President Trump's plan to dismantle the deep state and return power to the American people, which is what every American should want. You shouldn't want the government controlling you or having all this power over you.
I'd be curious to see his plan on that. I know he's not going to put it in detail in the video, but I'd be curious to see how, because I feel like his first term was kind of...
He didn't do it, I don't really think, in his first term. I think he stirred the pot, but he didn't really do anything.
He didn't do what I was hoping he was going to do. He did a great job, but I feel like he could have done more. Unfortunately, the people that he was relying on for information, I think, were kind of part of the deep state and not exactly giving him the most accurate information, or at least white lies of something. I don't know.
Agreed. Like Terry says, they fought him too much down there.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so Agenda 47, ending Biden's war on the suburbs that pushes the American dream further from reach. Joe Biden has been a disaster for the economy. How is that a part of the Agenda 47? Oh, okay. Trump highlighted the importance of not bailing out banks that have collapsed under Joe Biden's disastrous economy of higher inflation and soaring interest. Yeah, we shouldn't really be bailing out banks. Jenna 47, preventing World War III. Question is, will World War III start prior to I mean, in all reality, folks, we're looking right now. What are we at? Israel and Lebanon are going full blown with each other right now, firing rockets back and forth at each other.
Didn't we bomb Iraq?
Yes, there was just a recent attack in Iraq too. You were just showing me that one. There was just some type of an engagement in Iraq as well.
Yeah.
Like, so we've got multiple angles that's happening right now out there. Will World War III happen prior to the election? Will something crazy happen? What is what everybody's calling the October surprise?
Oh, I haven't heard that. What is this?
So the October surprise, supposedly every October, something big happens that fluctuates towards whoever in the elections, whether it be more for to help out the Democratic Party, more to help out the Republican Party. They call it the October surprise. It's pretty interesting. I've been hearing this phrase thrown out quite a bit lately when I've been listening to different casters as well. So I'll be curious what the October surprise is. It typically happens about 30 days prior to election. Next one is a new quantum leap to revolutionize the American standard of living. Reversing Biden's EO embedding Marxism in the federal government. Reclaiming America's independence by slashing Biden's disastrous trade deficits. President Trump's new trade plan to protect American workers. President Trump's continue to lead on protecting Americans from radical leftists. He's got a lot of going after the leftists. President Trump's announced his plan to stop the America Last warmongers and globalists, which 100% agree with them. America needs to stop being war hungry, although war is very profitable for America, and that's why a lot of politicians push for war. But we shouldn't want to go to war. We should try avoiding war at all costs. President Trump announces a plan to end crime and restore law and order. 100% agree. We do need to fund our law enforcement. Let me put it out there, though, folks. Hold on. Actually, I'll go on big screen in case this gets clipped. I 100% agree with funding our law enforcement officers. But the most recent event that just happened with Mrs. Massey, I do not agree with that law enforcement officer's actions. I believe deadly force should have never been used. I honestly believe that if a taser was available, he should have tased. Otherwise, maybe have taken the boiling hot water as a champ, but not causing deadly force upon this lady. She had water. It was hot water. Yes, it would have caused some skin damage, but it was hot water. So I do condemn that officer's actions and do think that officer should be charged for Miss Massey. Because that was insane. Did you see that one, Gary? So I just wanted to call that out there. I do have a bunch of law enforcement officers that are on my page, and I've been asked about where my stance is on Miss Massey before, and those are my opinions on her scenario. Let's go back to the screen sheen. Stopping Chinese espionage. Oh, wait. We all done with Agenda 47? I think we might be caught up. Yeah, we're all caught up. These are just other things that he's added onto it. But folks, let me tell you, all your liberal friends that are out there talking to you bad about Trump, Project 2025, saying that's what Trump's running on, correct them and let them know that it is Agenda 47 and direct them to DonaldJTrump.com's website. But here's my problem that I'm finding with liberals. And I find it really hard. I'm going to say it right now because I blocked her on Facebook anyway. She's probably not watching this. My mother. Listen, folks, when you are arguing with someone from the left, one thing they hate to hear the most is when you start telling them to do some research and you're like, listen, please go to this website and look up some of this information yourself. And they don't want to. Like, as somebody who's going out and voting, are you honestly just going to believe the words of the person that you're rooting for? Or are you actually going to start researching them? And going out to other outlets and listening to those outlets, see what they have to say, like, and then doing your own research. Although it's getting harder to research up the Trump assassination because it seems like Google is taking that out of their realm and certain AIs are blocking it. But like, seriously, folks, please do your own research. Tell your liberal or Democrat family members to start doing some research. If they're like, yeah, I did some research. I went to CNN's website and researched it there. If she's like, no. Here's a couple of things I tell people. Two podcasters that are not Republican nor are they Democrat. They're more on the middle line. I tell them seriously to look up Joe Rogan and Tim Cass. These are two podcasts I'd never freaking listened to. My brother Gary got me hooked on them. But like they are really great because they're neither Democrat, they're neither Republican, but they're both voting for Trump because they see what's happening right now within our country. They see the biggest fucking divide. But I'm going to put out some words, folks, because we do got to cut this shot. It's like 11:17 p.m. Eastern time. And I know Gary's wife just got home from the gym. She's feeding him. She means she's getting him plucked up, trying to get him energized so he can be like the Energizer Bunny later in the bedroom. So
I got all the energy I need, baby.
So let me get this out here. And I've said this numerous times. We are right now, folks, we are in the most troubled time of our country. Our borders are wide open. We need to start protecting our families. If you're voting to make America safe again, you're voting for Trump. If you're voting to make America wealthy again, you need to vote for Trump. If you're voting to make America great again, you're voting for Trump. But if you're voting to keep our country divided and you want to see our country get more divided, then by all means, vote for Kamala. The problem we are having right now in our country is we are so divided. The problem we're having in our country right now is all politicians on both sides of the table, Republican side and Democratic side, and our mainstream media. They are talking too much shit against the political party, shit that turns any crazy person to go absolutely bananas. Meaning the attempted assassination of Trump was caused by mainstream media. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, CNBC, The View, all of them are part of the reason why the assassination attempt happened on Trump, because it got to the head of a crazy person. That crazy person attempted to take Trump's life. We need to stop with the rhetoric bullshit and get back to what matters the most to the American people, and that is the freaking policies within our country. Once our politicians can go strictly on policies and stop talking shit with each other, America will stop battling a little bit. And us as Americans, we need to talk policies and not talk about all this other bullshit that's happening. To the people on the left, please listen to the people on the right sometimes. Don't cut them off. I watch these TikTok videos, these live streams, and every Democratic live stream I'm in on TikTok, they do not allow the person that is voting for Trump or even RFK in that matter to have a chance to talk and speak their piece. Allow people to speak their piece, and maybe you'll be educated on something new. Open your mind, open your eyes, open your ears. If you can't see that America is completely fucked right now, then you're being blinded by mainstream media and you're allowing it to happen. Open your eyes around you. Our country is in trouble. And if we don't get out of it soon, I don't know where we're going to be in 4 years with Kamala. There might not even be a fucking country left. Those are my views, my opinions. Do them as you please. Gary, what do you got for us?
Well, unlike you, Mr.
Unlike me,
Negative Nancy over here, I do see the challenges that you're mentioning, and I don't think that they're going to be easily resolved or just go away quickly or overnight. Doesn't matter who's president, whether it's Trump or whatever executive orders any party wants to do. I'm optimistic for the future. I think that despite all of the bullshit that's going on right now, things will be fine. If you look at the world in 2024 versus 2004 versus 1984, it's different. It's always going to be different, and it's always going to change. It's never going to stay the same, and you don't want it to. Progress is messy. There's a lot of mistakes that are made along the way, but life, again, despite all the current economic and political bullshit, life now is better than it's ever been before. Not just in America, but for the vast majority of the world. And I think that we're going to continue trending in that direction. So I think that this upcoming election is important. A lot is on the line for it, but no matter what happens, we're still going to have challenges to overcome. The progress and the development of society and nations and everything It's going to be a bumpy ride, no matter how we want to look at it. I honestly think the next 10 to 15 years are going to be bumpy. That's what I think. And I think after that, things will be really good. So that's what I think. Despite all the political bullshit, I think things are tough right now, but it's not as bad as everybody's making it out to be. It could be a lot worse. It could be a lot worse. So just be grateful, fucking tell your friends and family that you love them, and just don't be an asshole to anybody for any unnecessary reason. And just be optimistic. Hang in there.
Damn, y'all just got a mix of angels over there. I was the dark angel and Gary was the light angel. Let's go. That's once and once. Okay, Gary's got to spread of that pot. Really?
Your live has ended.
My live access just got removed. Misinformation. Nice.
What misinformation was there, though?
I have no clue. Hold on, let's find out. Everybody on Twitter right now, thank you all for tuning in. We got like 14 people on Twitter. Everybody on all the other platforms. Thank y'all. We just got banned on Twitter. I mean on TikTok. Let's find out why we just got banned on TikTok.
The future is optimistic?
Optimism.
TikTok doesn't like that. Maybe. They want doom and gloom.
They do want that doom and gloom. Hold on. Let's see what happened here. Let me see why we got banned. Live violation. All right. Live access removed. Your access to go live multi-guest will be restored August 6th. So they banned us for 7 days. And a global, it just says misinformation. It does not say why. It says in a global community is neutral for people. It is natural for people to have different opinions, but hold on. Son of a bitch. Hold on.
Reading is hard for Mark. For those of you who don't know yet, reading is hard for him. He struggles with words.
Reading is hard for Mark when he ain't got his damn reading glasses on. Okay?
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're an old fogey now. Oh, fucking nerd.
Just shit, you
nerd.
Listen, we're off TikTok right now, asshole. Let me read. All right, here we go. Misinformation in global community is natural for people to have different opinions, but we seek to operate on shared set of facts and reality. We do not allow inaccurate, misleading, or false content that may cause significant harm to individual society, regardless of intent. Significant harm includes physical, physiological, or societal harm and property damage. That's what they got me for.
I don't think we
said anything like that.
Anything along those lines.
I think what happened is we had a Karen. She didn't like what was said. Maybe she didn't like what I said about Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. And she banned us. So what I'm going to do real quick, we're going to appeal this.
I was just going to say, can you appeal it? Can you get that review?
I'm going to click the appeal now, request another review. And the thing that sucks about the appeal, with TikTok's appeal, it doesn't allow you to write a defense. Like, it doesn't allow you to write, I was doing a podcast and we were talking political. We had some different oppositions, but it doesn't allow that. Like, you're not allowed to have an open discussion forum anymore on TikTok.
Is it because I called you a negative Nancy?
I don't think it was the negative Nancy part. I honestly think it may have been the part where I talk shit about Joe Biden and his administration.
But you should be allowed to do that.
You should be. You should. We're living in, last I checked, we live in America, not fucking China.
Well, it doesn't matter where else in the world, but like, you should be allowed to.
Censorship at its best.
It's wild.
And the sad part is that misinformation, and that because I don't think TikTok did it on their own. I don't think TikTok did it. I think it was reported. I think someone said, "Oh shit, he's talking about so and so," and they reported us. Right? Real Sergeant Major goes, America.
Yeah.
Dude, we literally just got fucking banned on TikTok for misinformation. We didn't even say nothing bad.
Oh, man, I just found this tab again with this 2024 Ford 350 Platinum with Tremor off-road package, baby.
Popping that friggin' boner over there again over and over.
Damn, that's a sexy truck.
I thought the phone lines were ringing it too. When I heard that, I thought someone was calling to the show. Yeah, Real Sergeant Major, we just got banned. We were just wrapping up the show, literally wrapping up the podcast, and we got banned. And I was trying to see if the appeal was going to get approved before we got up, but it probably won't be approved till tomorrow. But Gary, I'll keep you posted on the ban. For everybody else out here on social media, we're about ready to wrap it up because it's late. And yeah, it's been good, y'all. But I'm going to enjoy some more of my night off. Y'all have a phenomenal night. Gary, you got anything else before I hit that button?
You're ugly.
You're ugly too, bitch. Let's go.
You've been listening to the Mark G Show. You may know them.